Hi. Twitch streaming event.
2, 1.
I only hear the thing from Twitch. I don't hear them. Maybe if you have the. No, we don't hear them. Sorry. Oh, they can hear me. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah? Welcome to our Twitch event. So you can now see the schedule on our Twitch channel. Perfect. And I will give the word to Sebastian. We are on Twitch now, live. Sorry for this inconvenience. Thank you. I am fixing problem. Just 1 second, thank you. Can you hear us now? Yeah, can go ahead, Sebastian. Sorry for the inconvenience. Can you hear us now? Yeah, can go ahead, Sebastian. Sorry for the inconvenience.
So everybody can hear me now?
We are having a technical problem right now. I'm sorry, so we have to delay this for 5 minutes. Sorry guys, we had this technical problem with the sound. Yeah, it was working fine, but we had a little battery problem. Now we can hear you, but yeah, still have this problem. I'm sorry. Battery problem. Now we can hear you, but yeah, still have this problem. I'm sorry. Battery problem. Now we can hear you, but yeah. Yeah. So should we?
Now everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
Do I get a thumbs up? Yes. Okay, perfect. Ah, I'm so glad. Only 10 minutes, not 3 hours. So we still have some time to go. Welcome everyone to our Games Engineering Twitch streaming event. We started with the Twitch streaming event already way before Corona was even anything else but a trendy beer from Mexico. And as you can tell, we are streaming our Zoom lecture hall to Twitch, which is why we were facing a few technical issues. But I hope everything is sorted out now. My name is Sebastian von Mammen. I'm professor of games engineering at the Julius Maximilians University in Würzburg, and the games engineering students who are going to present their different project pieces today. Most of them are enrolled in the Games Engineering Bachelor's program, which was founded in 2017 and which was scaled up from initially 30 students per year, rolling in winter, to now 60 students every year. And throughout the whole program of study, there are practical courses, the so-called game labs, which we continue as the game research labs in the master's program of computer science. And in the game labs, there are different goals throughout 1 year at a time that the students have to work on. And at the end of each year, there's typically fantastic projects that we are very proud to hear about and to share with you. So today is midterm, so to speak. It's the end of the first semester. So 99.9% of all the different projects that you're going to see today are only halfway through. So there's still a lot of polishing, a lot of balancing, working on technicalities and so on and so forth, and contents to be done. But nevertheless, the presentations today shall provide us with a current snapshot of works in progress, and I'm thrilled to have you all joining us. And with that, I pass on to the lecturer of the first Game Lab 1, which is Dr. Martin Fischbach, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the Game Lab 1 itself, and he's then guiding through the different presentations of the Game Lab 1, if that's not done by Monsif and Benedict, who are organizing the whole Twitch event as a whole. And then I will join you again for the question session and the next Game Lab 2 and 3, and also other thesis projects and so on and so forth. Talk to you in a bit.
So thank you very much, Sebastian. Just wanted to know, you said last time that we have someone from Games Bavaria also addressing our viewers.
That should be the fact. Is
True. We have
here?
Yeah, Simona is
Yes.
with us today.
Simone Lackerbauer is here. That's fantastic. So before we dive into the actual games engineering presentations, Simone, do you want to say a few words, introduce yourself and whatever you have packaged up?
Yeah, sure. That would be great.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me just see if I can share my screen. Yes, because of course we do have a short presentation for you guys. Thank you very much for having me today. I hope you can all see the presentation. If you can't, please interrupt me because I don't see any chat. All right, so I would like to introduce to you very shortly, and I'm a fast speaker, so that will be short, Games Bavaria. We are at the intersection of politics, industry, and the public, and we enable companies and creators to develop their full potential in the Bavarian gaming industry. So that sounds quite, heavy, but let's start with something light. Let's see the video games industry in Bavaria. Where is it located at all? Because of course, when you think about Bavaria, all you think about is Munich. But as we have seen on the games map, we do have 7 hotspots of video game development in Bavaria and some other smaller parts. But Würzburg is one of them, Bamberg, Bayreuth, Nuremberg, Regensburg, Augsburg, and of course, Munich. So the video games industry in Bavaria is really spread out, and you have those different hotspots, and they all have each own gaming culture. So we do have around 127 developers and publishers in Bavaria with around about more than 1,500 employees. We also have a few more teams that are not registered at companies, for example, teams of students that develop games. And we also have them on our screen, so we follow all of them. And we have 41 companies that are exclusively developers, around 10 that are exclusively publishers, and 76 that identify as both, which mostly means that they are self-publishing, because many indie developers do that because they have trouble finding a big publisher, and also because they want to have all the rights to their own IP and not share it with a publisher. So Games Bavaria, well, let's just get into what we are actually doing, because there are several funding options for video games in Bavaria that maybe some of you are not aware of. On the one hand, we have the regional funding, which is the FFF Bayern, with 3 rounds of funding for video game projects in the concept, the prototype, and the production phases. So regardless whether it's just an idea and a high concept, or if you already have a prototype, you can apply for funding at the FFF Bayern, which is one of the regional funding institutions. And the other one big thing that we have in Germany since last year is the German video game funding. It was quite small the years before, but since last year, we have 50 million euros allocated per year for the next few years for, well, video game development. And you can apply for that at the BMWI, the Bundesministerium, and we can help you with that. The process is quite, well, it's a bit complex, but it's really worth it, because video game companies like Mimimi Games were able to get like 2 million euros in funding for their next big project, and that's really a good thing. And well, yeah, then we have the structural support with us, Games Bavaria. We are located at the Werk 1 in Munich, and there's the Mediennetzwerk Bayern, which also helps, well, video game companies with anything but money. So for example, we can help you set up an office in Bavaria or find a job in the games industry, and we answer all your questions about the Bavarian games industry. So yeah, that's us, my colleague Lena and myself. We are funded by the Bavarian Ministry of Digital Affairs, and we are located in Munich in the lovely Werk 1. And you're of course all invited to come visit us there as soon as Corona is over. And of course, although we are located in Munich, we do support the video games industry in all 7 regions of Bavaria. Well, and what is it that we do? Well, we do visibility and location marketing for Bavaria as the place to be if you want to develop or publish video games. We are an information and communication hub for all aspiring game developers. So, well, yes, we are there for you as well. We do networking events and community support. We try to, well, focus on internationalization of Bavaria as a games location, games hub, because of course we do want our Bavarian games to be known across all of the world, and that is quite a mission. And we also work on professionalization, because although games have arrived in the culture, well, as pop culture, as something that's really, really important also for learning and other cultural values, there's still a kind of a lack in really making sure that everyone knows that the video games industry is a real valuable industry, professional, and yeah, really worthy. And these are some of the examples of things that we do. We have career days and an online job board. We do events like bar camps, game jams, talks like today, sponsoring and workshops. So if you have an event, we're happy to sponsor it. if it helps make Bavarian games more known, or if it helps Bavarian game developers. We usually have a Bavarian booth in the B2B area at Gamescom, which did not happen last year, and we have no idea about this year, but this is usually one of the things that we do. And we provide information on Bavarian games industry online and in personal conversations. And well, yeah, this is just one example of the things that one of the things that we did. This weekend, we hosted an online bar camp for the Game and Train Mixer Online, which is a cultural exchange event together with the Goethe Institute India and the Stiftung Digitale Spielekultur. And we had 20 participants from 8 different regions. And we just had a bar camp where everyone was introducing themselves and talking about stuff that they like. And this is really something that we want to do more often, so that we can really, just connect everyone and talk about games and do great things. And this program will probably take place next year again. So just keep an eye on the website of the Stiftung Digitale Spielekultur to get more information about that. And before I finish, I would like to invite all of you to attend our next event, which is on 23 February in 2021. It's called Games Crossing Borders, a Bavarian Polish exchange, where we have a few Polish companies, game developers and publishers, and a few Bavarian companies, also game developers and publishers, of course. And they talk about different projects in game design, or how to publish a game, how to get an investor for your game. We are especially happy to have 11-Bit Studios and Mimimi Games to talk. And yeah, you can attend the event for free. You can find all information about it on our website. And we also have 6 indie game developers that will be pitching their projects, and you can apply for that until February 12th. So if your project is in a state where you say, yeah, I'd like to present that to an international audience, please feel free to send us an email and we will take you into the pool of candidates for the pitching. So, and where do you find all those information? Well, you can always send us an email to mail@gamesbavaria.com. We have a website that will be totally revamped in the coming weeks because it's old. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, LinkedIn. We're also going to stream a bit on Twitch, but that's work in progress. So just keep an eye on our social media, sign up for our newsletter, and yeah, send us an email if we can help you in any way. Thank you.
Thank you, Simona, for
Thank you,
your
Simona.
presentation.
That
Okay,
was
thank you.
fantastic. And I thought it would be a fantastic outlet to reach all of our students and everybody else who is interested in what we are doing. Because the way I feel about all of this, we are all sitting in the same boat, and there is a lot of synergy, to be honest. And I very much appreciate every initiative coming from Munich or elsewhere that drives us forward and makes great stuff happening. So thank you very much. Now I would like to pass on word and stage to the GameLab 1 students. And as I was saying before, Martin Fischbach, who has been lecturing GameLab 1 this year and this semester, wants to share a few words on that, and then the students will show off their fantastic projects.
So hi, and let's keep things short. In the following first session, you will see projects of students that have just started at university, or at least with games engineering half a year ago. The goal of the project that you will see is to realize a unique game idea alone or in teams of 2 using off-the-shelf tools. And as Sebastian said, my name is Martin Fischbach, and I'm happy that since this semester I have the opportunity to guide these students in their first steps. And today you will see an intermediate step in the course of realizing these ideas that at least shows the core game mechanics of the ideas within a white box level. And during the upcoming semester, the students will continue on their projects, adding assets, conducting extensive playtests, balancing and polishing to be able to provide a 20-minute playable demo in summer semester. And this demo will then be presented in the context of a much larger exhibition where projects and theses of the entire Institute of Computer Science will be presented to the public and to which you are cordially invited. But now I'm also really curious about the GameLab 1 projects and about what the students have squeezed out of them during the final days. So we pass on to the students and perhaps to Munsif to guide through the schedule and see the Game Lab 1 project.
Thank you, Martin. So this is the schedule for Game Lab 1. The first project, Transform a Bot. Can you please step in? Jan and
I
Annika.
assume you all see our schedule there, and also for the students, please be prepared to present your projects in the shown order. And then I would give the word to the team behind Transformer Bot to start our first part of the Game Lab 1 session.
Jan and Annika, are you there?
Annika, you there?
Yeah, sure, we're starting. Hello everyone, we are Jan and Annika and we present you our game Transformer Bot. It is a third-person combat game created with the Unity engine.
Our game implements a fun ability system that offers creative playstyles. As the name suggests, you can switch into 4 different forms with different abilities and key aspects. Combining abilities of different forms empowers the player and offers dynamic combat and a variety of cool attacks.
We hope you enjoy our trailer and stay tuned for a finished game this summer. We can roll the trailer now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vincent for 1984. Vincent for 1984.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. 1984 is a simulation game where the player becomes a surveillance state. To gather information, he has to create methods and enable them to reveal further information about the citizens. But this may cause unrest. Most methods have a short lifespan, so you need to progress. To accomplish this progress through research and innovation, this will lead to total surveillance. And now you can see the video. At the first part, you see where how a method gets created and what type of method you could see. Like you have a Linux device with some hardware which you want to brute force into. Then you select the method and pass it, so it has an effect on the game's economy. Then you can research new methods and find new method building blocks, like a new device or a new type of distribution. Sorry.
Thank you. Viewpoint.
So, hello, my name is Jan Ludwig, and I'm currently working on my project called Viewpoint. It's all a question of perspective. Viewpoint is a 3D puzzle parkour game where you can manipulate objects with the concept of forced perspective to either change their size or transform 2D objects into 3D objects. The following video shows a prototype level of the game. So in every level, the player is given one or more objects which you can use to advance in the parkour. In this case, you can either use the 3 cubes to build a stair or the 1 cuboid to build a ramp. The game also has a pressure plate mechanic. However, in most cases, the pressure plates can only be triggered by objects. Here you can see the transformation of the 2D painting into a 3D object. In this case, it's a staircase, which the player can now use to climb to the finish line.
Thank you.
Just a quick information for our viewers. Unfortunately, we have still audio problems and the videos should have audio. We are working on this and hopefully can fix it as soon as possible.
Elias and Jonas.
Should I still be starting anyways?
Yes.
Yes, please keep going.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Jan Hoffmann, and with my partner Mirko Schäfer, we're making the game In Your Face, Throw Everything and the Kitchen Sink. It should be a 3D fighting game that is very simple to pick up and just is fun. It's just simple, stupid. Your ability, your main ability is to pick up all the pieces on the map and like rip them out and throw them at the enemy to throw him off the stage. In the video, you will see the main mechanics, so the core mechanics, and yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Roman Bongier, and together with my partner Miklas Neely, we are developing the game Coalescence, which is a bullet hell boss fight where you get to choose to switch between the third person and the top-down view while playing. This will help you to dodge the bullets properly and take down the boss.
In our game, we want the player to take down a challenging enemy that will use many different attacks, and it will require precise timing and skill to avoid. We really want to emphasize the ability to change perspectives, and in order to show you how the ability will be important, we have prepared a short gameplay trailer for you. Here the player can only dodge the attacks in the third-person view, so he has to jump over the shockwaves.
We also implemented a dash so the player can dodge the bullets quickly.
Thank you. /by. Nico and Puya, are you there?
Hello, everybody. My name is Puya Zoldos, and together with my partner, Nico Etzel, we are creating a game called Slash By. It is a 2D action platformer game with the focus of momentum and movement. The gimmick of the game is that you are able to dash in any cardinal direction. And of course, while in the air, only do it once. However, if you manage to defeat an enemy while airborne, you can dash once more and repeat this process pretty much infinitely, as long as you can keep defeating enemies. And we do also have a trailer. However, as we are informed, it will not have sound. But rest assured, we had some great background music and great sound effects to go with the animations here. However, I guess my voice will have to suffice. So as you can see here, the character, which is still, of course, a work in progress, is able to dash and jump around as he likes. And that right above him is an enemy, and he will have to try to defeat the enemy in the air. And as you can see, he was able to dash after defeating that enemy. And you can see that right there. So yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say really. The trailer is supposed to show it all, so I'm gonna just, let you enjoy.
Thank you. Moritz and Thomas for Project Speedrunner.
Hey, my name is Moritz, and together with my partner Thomas, we're working on our game Speedrunner. In Speedrunner, you're controlling a first-person character and have to complete the level, avoid obstacles and enemies. And our goal was to combine a typical 2D jump and run moveset with a realistic moveset. So we added wall running abilities and double jump and dash and such things. And you have to combine these movesets to complete the level and avoid enemy contact. There you can see our first gameplay trailer.
As you can see in this video, we have implemented wall run. And with wall run, you can basically run on every wall. I'm sorry for the low FPS. As you can see, we also implemented a dash function and enemies, which you will not be able to defeat, but you can outrun them by using abilities like wall running, dashing, and sliding. And as you can see, you can use these wall run abilities for quite complicated wall runs. And all assets and measures you can see are just placeholders as of yet.
Thank you. Maximilian Bengizu for 2020 runner.
Hi, I'm Bengisse, and together with my project partner Maximilian, we would like to present you the current progress in our game 2020 Runner, which is a 2D platformer in which you have to complete all of the levels to save the year.
Hello, I'm Maximilian. In our game, the player can perform several types of actions, such as walking, jumping, dashing, wall climbing, and so on, with the feature that the previous action either buffs or debuffs the following one. Finally, each level only allows a specific amount of actions to be executed. Here's our trailer, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah. So we're missing the sound here, but we are still working on it. Thank you, Maximilian. Thank you, Sue. Anastasia and Lisa Benner for My Imaginary Friend.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lisa Benner, and me and my partner Anastasia Schleicher are currently working on a point-and-click adventure called My Imaginary Friend. These two characters, who you can see, are the protagonists of our game. The little blonde boy, Tim, has a quote-unquote imaginary friend who is right next to him and is called Anton. Anton gives him extraordinary abilities, and they're quite dependent on each other.
Exactly. That is why we have a switch planned between these two characters. They both have individual movement. So Tim can move horizontally and Anton can move through walls and everywhere he wants to. And Tim, for example, has an inventory so he can store objects, and Anton can just manipulate objects. But there are soon other abilities Anton will obtain, and they both can work together to solve puzzles. And yeah, please enjoy our first gameplay trailer where you can see some of the functions. So as you can see, there's a coin Tim just put up there and put behind the door. And you can switch to Anton with a key. And he will just use this coin now to manipulate it with the vending machine.
Thank you very much. Labs.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, hello. My name is Wenzel Hünting and I'm presenting you Labs. Labs is a first-person adventure with a focus on labyrinths. In Labs, the player has to face multiple labyrinths in the form of test runs. These test runs each have an individual game mechanic that help the player to solve the current labyrinth, as you will see in the following trailer. In this trailer, I will present you 2 out of the 3 labyrinth mechanics featured in Labs. And the first labyrinth mechanic is called moving the floor. Here the player can step on certain platforms that will move the floor downwards. This helps the player to get a unique perspective on the labyrinth that help him figure out his way through. The second mechanic is more like a classic puzzle mechanic called switching doors. Here the player can step on certain trigger fields to open or close a set of marked doors. Yeah, and that's it. I hope you liked this short presentation of Labs and are looking forward to the more polished and fleshed out game in the summer. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Alexandra and Joshua.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Harnisch, and this is the project by me and Joshua Billesbach under the working title Lightless. Lightless is a 3D puzzle game that takes inspiration from similar games of the genre, namely Portal and Superliminal. It revolves around using mirrors to solve puzzles and move to the next room. The player can interact with objects within mirrors and also has no reflection themselves.
We prepared a small video to show you the game's mechanics, which are basically simple movement mechanics to explore the world and drag and drop mechanics to interact with items on them. Here you can see one of the mirrors we implemented, which in the first place look like ordinary mirrors, but if you interact with an item inside of the mirror, you can take it out of the mirror and use it in order to solve your current level. In the final game, it will also be possible to use curved mirrors to increase or decrease the size of reflections, and thus increase or decrease the size of objects you get out of the mirrors. Yeah, and that's it for our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Jessica Toppel for There is a Ghost in the System.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and this is my project, There's a Ghost in the System. Inspired by classic arcade games, the player has to traverse a maze that is home to a number of enemies. However, there's a twist. While the player can teleport for a short distance to escape, the enemies will relentlessly pursue them, moving through walls and other obstacles. Only those who use the teleport wisely, recognizing movement patterns and thinking ahead will succeed, and There's a Ghost in the System and move on to the next level. You can show the trailer now. As you can see in the trailer, it is a rather simple concept. You just have to get through the labyrinth. The goal is to get to the top right corner in this level. And you have a teleport ability that will help you in this goal. When an enemy sees you, you can, for example, use it to escape them. But of course, you can also use it simply to take a shortcut and get to the level faster, as points will be awarded to the player at the end of the level, also depending on how much time they needed to get through the level. To not make things too easy, you have a cooldown on your teleport ability, so you have to be careful about when you use it and when you better just try to get through the level without using it. That's it for my game. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Sven Gerlach for Convenient Chameleon. Can you hear Sven? Yeah, no sound.
It's better now. As you can see, we can walk around and turn visible. And okay. And yeah, use that to our advantage to explore the level. Thank you so much for watching.
It's a roguelike real-time strategy game, which, much like other roguelikes, you will have to traverse various randomly generated levels. I'm not going to call them dungeons here. But you will, instead of controlling a single character, be given a small army of units, which you will have to control carefully such that you do not lose any, because any loss can really hurt in this game. Because there will be no base building, instead units are like items in other roguelikes would be. So you will be there will be few and far between and hard to obtain. We could roll the trailer now. I apparently just have to imagine the music. Ey, und ich habe mir so viel Mühe gegeben, die auf Beat zu schneiden, man.
We'll have a short break of 5 minutes, And if you guys have any questions about the projects that we have presented so far, please ask them on Twitch. And we'll see you in 5 minutes. Thank you.
To our viewers and also to you, the GameLab 1 participants, who I know that you put a lot of effort in fixing these fixing the issues that you had 1 week ago, and adding sound, voice and music to your videos. So hopefully we can continue with being able to experience what you achieved in the next session. But yes, as Munsif said, if from the audience or also from other game labs there are any questions to these projects, now is the time to get in contact with the people that conducted these projects. So please feel free, either write in the chat or if you're in Zoom, just unmute your microphone and start asking.
I'm wondering whether the chat for the Twitch stream is actually activated, because I cannot find the respective icon.
So I can read the Twitch chat.
Okay, it is. Okay, great.
And there are things going on, but I didn't read any questions about here. In your face, is there another goal other than try to stay on the platform and kick the other one off? So please, the respective team, you just can answer this, unmute your microphone and say a few words.
Yes. For now, there is actually no other goal. We want to, first of all, focus on that this is match that is enjoyable. If there will be some others we don't know yet, only time will tell. Let's say it like that.
Okay, and then there is another question. Can we get a collection of the videos with sound somewhere on YouTube, etc.? And I think this is surely possible to have the videos presented permanently somewhere after this session, or let's say tomorrow or at Wednesday. No, for sure. We have already since a long time ago a YouTube channel where also student project results are presented among the results of research projects. So the HDI Chairs YouTube channel, we can right away provide you a link to that. But the videos, I assume, are not online yet, because this live session should be the first time where they are broadcasted.
So in order to get there, we need to ask the students for permission. We have kind of implicit permission to have this Twitch broadcast of all the respective works. And we would have had the permission to broadcast it with the sounds and the music, of course. But as I was saying, we need to get permission and agreement from the authors, respective creators, and then we can upload it to the Games Engineering YouTube channel. And we, of course, can also send everyone who is in the email list receiving messages about this Twitch event today also an update about the successfully uploaded videos, including the music stream, hopefully soon. Now, regarding the remainder of the agenda, do we have more questions? If not, is there a break scheduled? If not, should we keep going? What's the update there?
So I think that we are in a scheduled feedback session, and then we should continue with the presentations, but it would be a good thing to see the schedule again. No.
Oh, I see. It's the second half
We
of the one
have a lot more.
Oh, that's good. But maybe we give another 5 minutes on top in order to hope, so that we can hope that we will hear some sound and music in the background.
Sounds good. Then we start again at 1:05.
Yeah. So to all of our listeners and viewers on Twitch, very much sorry for all the technical difficulties that we are all facing today and you have to suffer from. And of course, also big sorry to all the presenters who have put so much effort into their perfect presentations and perfect cuts. We will try to make up for that. In the meantime, let's have another 7 minutes break and reconvene 1:05. And let's hope for the best that things will be figured out and fixed by then. Thanks, everyone.
we are back again, and hopefully the sound problem is now fixed. Can you all hear me now? Right? Yeah, perfect. And you hear some background music also. Welcome back. Can you all hear me now? Yeah? Yeah, sorry guys, we had this last minute problem and we're trying to fix it. We'll be back soon. Thank you. Can you hear me now on Zoom? Can you hear me on Zoom? Yeah, perfect. I can hear you on Zoom. And okay, let's go back. All right, our next presenter. Thomas Frederick, are you here? Thomas Frederick for Gravity Boots. Okay. Yannick Boinas, dispatch. Tobias and Stefan for Telekinetic Vanilla.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, we are Stefan Binder and Tobias Böller, and we are working on Telekinetic Vania. It is developed for the PC to utilize the mouse and keyboard to control a character with psychic abilities in a 2D platformer environment. Where the player character is controlled with a keyboard, the player uses the mouse cursor to swing a weapon around to damage the enemies. The goal is to defeat bosses and unlock new abilities which allow the player to further explore the map. And now, without further ado, enjoy the teaser.
Hello everyone, my name is Nico Bischoff, and together with Kai Schieser, I'm developing Elementals, which is a 3D puzzle game.
In Elementals, you play Ellie, a young creature that is capable of using different fire and ice abilities, as you can see in this animation. Ellie wants to rescue her friends that are held prison. In order to do so, you have to solve a variety of different logic puzzles by using your wit and taking advantage of Ellie's special abilities. And here's our trailer.
Thank you.
Thanks for your attention.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is David Bergman, and for the past couple of months, I've been working on a game called Tombs of Terror. Well, that is not my game. There it is. Fantastic. All right. Tombs of Terror is a procedurally generated action RPG with roguelike elements on a time basis. Your goal is to explore a randomly generated dungeon, to combat enemies with attacks and spells, to collect gold and use that to buy better stats, more spells, and more time, all while staying low on set time to get boni such as more move speed and upgraded spells. You will see that it got some similarities to the inspirational game The Binding of Isaac. Now we can cue the trailer. Here you can see Tim, who can slash and cast spells towards the mouse. Our first spell is the Fireball Tome that shoots a fireball that explodes on contact. It can destroy rocks and gets a bigger explosion while you're low on time. In the top left corner you've got your stats, strength and wisdom. In the top right you've got your current gold collected and the time remaining. You may increase your gold counter by collecting the gold that's scattered among the floor and dropped by enemies, and the occasional hourglass helps to keep your timer up piece by piece. You may have noticed that there's no health bar or anything similar on the screen, so watch carefully and keep an eye on the timer as I get hit by the slime. That's right, in this game every time you get hit, your timer decreases instead of anything health related. But how am I supposed to keep my timer above 0 with only these small hourglasses? The answer are these statues that spawn in the top right corner. These function as a shop where you can spend your gold. For example, here you can see me purchasing a new spell for 233 gold, the Ice Storm. You may figure out what the spell does yourself. These statues can come in quite handy, as you can see here, as I am able to extend my very low timer. After making your purchase, the statue deactivates, so keep exploring further to find new ones. Like this one, where I can increase my strength stat. So this pretty much sums up the core gameplay of my game. Thank you for your attention, and remember that in this game, skilled movement is key, decision making is necessary, and patience is not a virtue.
Thank you.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hello, my name is Christopher Colon-Lugo. Through the course of the last semester, I worked on the game Infested Grounds. It's a third-person survival game with the main objective to reach a certain point on the map that will enhance the player to the next level. And all levels are created in a way that force the player to find a creative way to work around and not get mauled by the hostile NPCs. The player has the ability to do so by hiding, running, throwing rocks, or placing a bait, or defeating the enemy and hostile NPCs indirectly through other NPCs. At this stage of the game, there are only 3 types of NPCs: a male, a female, and a child creature. To summarize the behavior, they chase, kill, and mate. But without further ado, let's roll the trailer.
Level 1. Breed to succeed. Here you have to find a way to lure the creatures together, so that they breed and their offspring will do the dirty work for you. But you should be careful. Throw a rock at the wrong position and you certainly won't have a good time soon. Level 2. Feed to succeed. In this level, it's key to provide the enemy with some kind of bait. Level 1. Breed to succeed. Here you have to find a way to lure the creatures together, so that they breed and their offspring will do the dirty work for you. But you should be careful. Throw a rock at the wrong position and you certainly won't have a good time soon. Level 2. Feed to succeed. In this level, it's key to provide the enemy with some kind of bait to distract it. while you consume a plant that will make you unnoticeable by the NPC offspring. Problem is, this golden plant won't distract all the creatures. In the third level, you are very free on how you want to reach the goal. This game should always provide multiple solutions. Keep in mind that your stone count and bait count is limited, and in some levels breeding is not possible. In others, it might be unavoidable. Infested grounds. Will you make it?
Thank you.
Hello everyone. So first of all, I'm sorry to inform you that there's no sound in the video. I'm Osama Lamouchi and I'll be presenting my game Mummy Apocalypse, inspired from some legendary games like GTA 1 and 2. It's fun to play it's a fun to play game that everyone can play, especially while waiting for games to load or while waiting for long time queues like the famous League of Legends queue. So trust me, it's worth to play a round or two. And there's the part where we go to the mechanics. It's a top-down 3D game. It's a top-down 3D game where the robot is fighting to survive the apocalypse. The character will be moving using the WASD buttons or the left, right, up, down buttons, and aiming towards the mummies using the mouse. The player can survive using the moving obstacles, such as the moving walls or power-ups, like the attack speed power-up that spawns randomly by time and it powers up the weapon. A single kill is +1 in the score. When you get 2 consecutive kills, it's double the value. If you get 3 consecutive kills, it's 3 times the value. And that's how the score system works. My main goal is to build more tricks, levels, and difficulties, so it is not just beating previous high score and increase the entertainment level. So we can go to the video maybe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Dennis Wismeyer, and with Joshua O'Donnell, I'm creating a digital board game called Murder in the House. In our game, you have to play different mini games instead of rolling a dice in order to move forward on the board. And now Joshua will tell you a little bit more about our game.
Yes. The main goal in our game will be to look for clues in order to find out who the murderer is, who committed the murder before the game started, logically. Our game has been widely inspired by classics in the board game industry, such as Cluedo and Monopoly. And now, the trailer.
There is a murderer in a mansion. Go through the board to find clues on who the murderer is. Complete minigames in order to advance. Will you find the killer, or let someone else get the honor of arresting the culprit? Murder in the House, a digital murder mystery board game.
Thank you very much for watching.
Whisper.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Leonhard with an H and Denise Stadtmüller, and we are developing the game Whisper. It will be going in the direction of a dungeon crawler, where the player has to complete various levels to finish their game. Starting with one game character, the player will later control two characters separately, which creates the opportunity to develop a multiplayer game.
As our core feature in the game, we built a split mechanic. It is able to divide and fuse the characters. Additionally, a bullet can be activated that shoots back and forth between the bodies, damaging enemies. After that, the enemy can be killed with a finisher move that consists of the character fusion. Please roll the trailer. With that being said, enjoy this early trailer of our game idea.
Thank you. Catch.
Welcome to our presentation about our game Catch. My partner Nico and myself, Paul, thought of an 1 versus 1 jump and run game in which you can decide how to finish and win. There are 2 ways to win the race.
The catch phase, which triggers by a distance to the player in front, and if he gets caught, the other player wins. The other way to win the game is to reach the goal first. Our next steps are including mob buffs. And now we show you actual progress in the following video.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Jan Erik.
And I'm Felina.
And we're developing Crawling Dungeon, a dungeon crawler where using too much magic will make your life harder.
The more magic you use, the more the dungeon around you will come to life. Paths become blocked, new enemies appear, and taking the easy way out will not be an option anymore. Of course, you will not only be able to use different kinds of magic, but also normal melee attacks to defend yourself against different types of enemies.
So far, we implemented one small test stage and the basic mechanics, and you can see for yourself in the short video. Please roll the trailer. going forward, we will implement different spells and enemies, and of course create different levels. And yeah, right. We will also perhaps implement different weapons. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to our short presentation. This is Strafe and Run, our work in progress title. It is a first-person speedrun-ish kind of game designed around the core mechanics of like known games like Counter-Strike or Quake. So going with surfing, bunny hopping, and strafing.
Yeah, to those who are not familiar with those mechanics, strafing works kind of like in a way that you're jumping, and if you are moving your character and your mouse while in the air, you gain more speed, and by jumping immediately after landing, that's called bunny hopping, you can keep that momentum to build up even more speed. Regarding surfing, if you hit a slope above a certain angle, you are able to accelerate even more and can use this speed to overcome certain obstacles. Yeah, that's it. Now roll the video, please.
Thank you. Back in time.
Welcome, everybody. I am Tim and my partner is Jan. Together we developed the game Back in Time. Back in Time is a first-person puzzle game with a fascinating time travel mechanic, where your actions are replayed after traveling back in time. We have to master our training environment to fully learn the art of time manipulation. To get an idea, I invite you to our first training lesson. Next slide, please.
Welcome to the Back in Time training. In Back in Time, you will face challenges and need to plan by observing the environment. When you act, you will probably fail, but we think and use our time travel tool to place a time anchor. When you are done with your hilarious attempts, it's time to reverse the time. Observe your strange actions and react to succeed. But before you start, have a look at our last client. Don't copy him, he died already.
Thank you. Skyline Arena.
Okay, so hello and welcome also from our side. My name is Tobias Lengfeld, my partner is Philipp Krüger, and together we've been developing a game called Skyland Arena. For our project, this is not a midterm presentation, but we show our final results.
Thank you. Inner fight.
Hello, we are Luca Konrad and Julius Brown, and our game is Inner Fight. It's essentially a 2D platforming game, and the idea is that you also play against yourself and not only against external enemies. So this means that the character's mental state, respectively their stress level, is a core variable to succeed in the game, and you'll see that in our short video now.
Thank you. Puzzle Paradox.
Hello, we are Simon and Tobias, and our game is called Puzzle Paradox. It's a first-person 3D puzzler with a twist that you can use to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, in our game, you're turning back time and certain elements of the environment, while other elements remain unchanged, and you need to use those interactions to reach the final door of the level and complete it. Roll the clip, please. So in the first level, you'll probably not notice us turning back time. The important thing to note here is that the door remains unlocked even though we are turning back time. Doors are not affected by that. In the second level, we're using the time mechanic to get out of the hole and dodge the cube that's falling on our head. And in the next room, everything that's cyan colored is not being turned back in time, and we'll use that to cross the gap. You can see now. Reach the button, and make the final jump, where I'll be turning back time a couple of times until the platform's in the right spot. And that is that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, hello everyone. Apparently our updated slide and trailer has been lost in transaction, but now we have to rely on our old one, and here we go. We are Benedikt C. and Timon Hascher, and we're currently working on our project Maze Raider Moving Dungeon. It is a 2D platformer, dungeon crawler, and with roguelike elements. And what makes our game special is inspired by the 15 puzzle. The map is a grid of rooms and empty spaces, and the player has to move the dungeon rooms around to fill gaps between rooms and build a passageway to the goal. Now we have visualized this mechanic in the following trailer. The player, first of all, gets to the console to open the room menu. Here you can see that no rooms are visible yet because they haven't been explored. This is in 5x speed, so yep. Now room 1 and 2 are explored, but you can't get to the goal because they're too few and you have to explore room 3 and 4. Now that the last 2 are explored, you can move them around to create the passage to the goal. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
I hope, yeah. Hello everyone. For the final game of the day will be our game, The Changeling. Us, that being yours truly and Mr. Brandt Jacobi. Continue to the next slide, please. None. Our game is about a shape-shifting. I'm very sorry, but it seems that the wrong presentation of ours has been put in here. The real one, the real trailer can be found here. This was just a work in progress. Apparently our real trailer has been put in. So please check out the trailer in the link. I'm not quite sure what went wrong here. Yes, F is true. Meat seeking missile.
So Munsif, perhaps we can stop this here.
Yes.
And
please stop.
We also have one candidate that we wanted to put at the ending of the GameLab 1 presentations, which is the Gravity Boots project by Thomas Frederick. So perhaps we continue now with this one, and if it's possible to retrieve the real presentation for the Changeling, then it would be nice if we can even put it at the end. If not, then we head to the discussion phase afterwards. So now please, the project Gravity Boots, which was at the beginning of the second part of the GameLab 1 session.
Hi, I'm Frederick, and my project for GameLab 1 is called Gravity Boots. The main idea of this game is to combine classic platformer elements with the fun and challenging mechanic of gravity alteration. That means that the player can alter gravity in all 4 cardinal directions, as you can see in the picture next to me. And of course, the player has to use this mechanic in order to overcome the many obstacles on his way to beating the game. In the following trailer, you can see my current progress. And my
You can basically just walk on any surface you want, Morty. Up, down, below, turn around to the left. Let's turn them on, Morty.
Here you can see my resources. That's it from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you, Thomas. And thanks to all of you, all GameLab 1 students. You did a wonderful work in presenting your ideas here. And we will see to get your videos also put on YouTube if you wish so, so that everyone can experience the audio if they are interested in your projects, because I know that a lot of you put really much work into it. And it is a bit sad that we could not stream the sound for the first part of the project. But perhaps everyone can make some noise for the GameLab 1 projects in chat, just cheer for them. This was a really nice series of presentations. Thank you. And now we are heading to the question and answer part that follows the Game Lab 1 presentation. So similar to the break where we had just put your questions in chat, or if you're also in the Zoom, just unmute yourself and ask, and then we can see what the authors of these projects have to say to it. And perhaps Munsif, if it is possible to retrieve the correct presentation for the changeling, we could even give that a try as well.
For the changeling, that's the only presentation we've got. We actually didn't receive for the Twitch event, so we put the one we had. Thank you.
So do we have any questions?
So can we get the games as real demos or full games is a question in the chat. And yes, you can get them as real demos in summer. This will happen during our institute's exhibition, so the Institute of Computer Science. And this expo will be announced separately, I think as soon as we can have a better clue about what we can really do in summer. Normally, this would be a nice event on campus, but last year we had it via Zoom as well. So this the exhibition will take place, and perhaps you visit our web page, hci.uni-würzburg.de, or the games.uni-würzburg.de page, where this event will be announced. And if so, you can also pass us your email address, then we can inform you via email as well and invite you to this event. So there is another question for the project Strafe and Run. It says,
yeah, I had that question earlier. Sorry if this wasn't clear. Honestly, this just, or in the early progress, was more or less a tool for us to determine how fast we accelerate, but it is centimeters per second calculated from what Unreal Engine usually gives you in their own units per second acceleration.
Okay, thanks. Any more questions?
I have a question. Do we have the video of the changeling?
No, Sebastian, we don't. We didn't receive any presentation for the Twitch event.
Probably not.
So there was a YouTube video posted in the Twitch chat, which seems to be the video of the changeling. So for any one who's interested, just refer to this video in the Twitch chat. And it was also reposted here in the Zoom chat as well.
Okay, then. Thanks again, everyone. And I'm noticing that we are losing viewers on Twitch now that the Game Lab 1 session is closing. And I would propose that we just rush on into the next session, which would be the presentations of the Game Lab 2 projects. Just to give a recap and some context, as Martin pointed out, in the case of Game Lab 1, almost all the projects that we've seen today in Game Lab 1, they were works in progress, whereas round about 50%, not quite, of the time have been put into the projects. So we can expect a lot of improvements regarding a lot of aspects, from playability over contents to polishing and balancing and all of that. And as the question has already arisen regarding demo plays, yes, we would want to offer live demos at the expo if it takes place in personam on campus, but if it doesn't, then we will ask the students whether they want to upload binaries on the some subsite of the game's website. So if you share your email address with us, we'll keep you posted if you haven't done so yet. Now, regarding GameLab 2, same key idea, that the projects keep going for 1 year. And right now, this is midterm, so to speak. But the GameLab 2, the idea is that the students do not take off-the-shelf engines and processing pipelines in order to create a game, but to improve the engine / the processing pipeline to make game development and game design better. In many ways, this can be concerned about the game code quality. This can be concerned about asset generation or anything else. And without further ado, I'll pass on to the students and welcome them to the stage. Please, let's just continue as we've done in the first 2 sessions. Just start talking about your respective projects and step through your slides. Thank you.
Okay, hello. This is Andreas and Raphael. We are writing an Unreal Engine 4 plugin which offers a performance overlay with some very useful quality of life features. One of which is the ability to change graphic options directly through the overlay. One cool result from this is that the player can change a graphic setting and immediately observe the visual and performance impact, without having to travel in and out of a bunch of menus while doing this. And now please take a look at our midterm progress and how easy a developer can quickly add another graphic setting to the available ones.
On the left-hand side, you can see the settings. Upon change, you immediately notice the difference in lighting. On the bottom, you can see the fade. It helps the player understand how the aforementioned difference in scenery is affecting the game performance. To add a new setting to the overlay, you simply have to do 2 things. Firstly, implement our interface, and secondly, add a new entry to a data table with the necessary information about your setting, like the min or max value, or what class contains your graphic setting. Additional features we already implemented are multiple presets, for example, only a little frame time graph in the corner, support for different aspect ratios, and support for every kind of graphic option we could think of.
Of course, we plan more features. Most importantly, automatic recommendations to the player what setting he should change if he wants to improve his frame rate. Thanks for listening, and please, be excited.
Hi, we are Annika and Jan again, and we are presenting our plugin WaterMesh, a mesh manipulation toolkit for runtime and editor use. It implements tools that have not been seen before in Unity.
Our first tool is a smudge tool. It distorts meshes in your desired direction, while also adding vertices automatically to prevent chunky topology. And the second one is the slice tool. It cuts a game object into 2 separate runs along a straight line. For example, like in the game Fruit Ninja. The usage of our plugin is very simple. It provides convenient predefined inputs. That way you can use it in just a few clicks. Or you can define your own inputs very easily.
Our tools provide a lot of customizability and will lead to unique game mechanics. Please enjoy our trailer.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you.
Hello, we are Nick and Amelie, and we are currently working on a Unity plugin to add a co-local multiplayer mode to VR applications. Our target audience are developers for VR on the Oculus Quest and Quest 2. The initial problem is that positions in VR do not match with real life. With our plugin, we can solve this problem by providing a way to sync positions via hand tracking. Developers can apply this and adjust additional features to their needs. In our trailer, you can see that with few simple steps, the syncing process can be applied to your own custom virtual reality avatar. As you can see here, at first our positions and rotations do not match real life. With our plugin, 2 or more players in the same room can sync their positions together to match them. Right now this happens via hand gestures, but later in-game UI will guide the end users through the syncing process. So now we have synced and we know about our whereabouts. We can see each other at the right place to avoid bumping into each other. An added feature is group teleportation, which can also be set up and adjusted with few simple steps. This feature allows users to explore their surrounding together without breaking their synced positions. Here you can see that both people are teleported to maintain their position and rotation to each other. We hope to give developers the opportunity to create a whole new VR experience and new game mechanics with our plugin. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Nils Günther and Jonas Eichelkraut, and we are creating a two-game in-game level creator. With this, you will be able to make your own custom levels in your own 2D platform. This is obviously inspired by programs like Super Mario Maker, and now for our trailer.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm with Jonas and Carl, and today we want to present BioWatch.
With BioWatch, we wanted to create a new way to interact with players in-game. Therefore, we wanted to make it able for developers to use the physical health data from smartwatches inside of Unity for real-time player modeling.
BioWatch currently supports multiple devices from market leaders and therefore allows for easier device and data integration into your Unity project. We also have privacy considered as an issue and try to improve it as much as possible. BioWatch allows the developer to create reactive gameplay through the means of lighting, difficulty, sound, or whatever you can think of tied to the data you get from BioWatch. And this lets the player feel the game.
We already support some of the market leaders and have an easy Unity access in development for different physical data to use for developers. And now our trailer.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Christian.
And I'm Lucas.
And over the course of the last couple of months, we've been working on Flexible Matter. Flexible Matter is a Unity plugin that allows developers to change the aggregation state of their game objects during runtime. These changes include the alteration from solid to liquid and vice versa. With the help of NVIDIA Flex's technology, our plugin can provide a smooth and detailed visualization of melting processes. Please have a look at some early footage.
Thank you.
So, hey, we are Pierman and Quirin, and we are making the Unreal Engine 4 plugin Game Mixer, which speeds up your game balancing workflow. So the problem with game balancing is that tweaking variables takes a lot of time. They are spread over multiple files, you have to search them, you have to recompile and restart the game. So that's the basic problem. On the next slide, you will hear our solution from Pierman.
So our solution for the whole problem is that we build a centralized interface that looks like a MIDI controller, where you can map all your variables across all files and we track them for you in the background. And then you can control all variables in real time during your gameplay and can balance everything out with your MIDI controller or any input device that supports MIDI. And now enjoy our trailer.
So we don't have any audio for the trailer, so I'm just gonna talk over. Here in the first clips, you can see me balancing the movement speed, the fire rate, and the projectile speed all at the same time, just with these sliders. So it really speeds up your workflow, and you can save that later and compare them. But you can also utilize it for other systems. For example, here you could see me controlling the camera or the lights in our environment. So you can get creative with the tool, but it's mainly for the game balancing. That was our presentation, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hi, my name is Sophia Steinhauser and my partner is Lenny Searle, and we're working on NarRobot, the Unity plugin that allows to control the robot Reti you can see in the picture from inside Unity using clean and easy C# scripts, so you can be used as a narrator, a companion, competitor, or other.
So we will go to our trailer where Reti will tell you the rest.
Hi, I'm Reti. Today I will present you the project NarRobot, the robotic storyteller for Unity. This is the Emperor. He is a great person who holds a lot of power. Fear him. This is the Devil. You are seduced by the material world and physical pleasures. Shame on you. So you have chosen death. It stands for change or end. Must not be your end, which probably can. Hera.
you. Snap edit.
Hello, I'm Jonas and my plugin is called SnapEdit. It's an Unreal Engine 4 plugin, and the main idea is that you can create level parts that are then merged together into one level. This has the advantage that many people can work on a single level together. Snapping points will help with the alignments of the level parts, and there will be automatic level streaming. This has the advantage of decreased load times and better performance. Let's see the video. So here you can see me putting together the level parts. So later you will see how everything just loads around the player. This will work. And this will create faster load times, since only the parts around the player need to be loaded when first entering a level. It will also be more performant, since you don't need to load the whole level at the same time and only need to load the level parts around the level at the player. That's basically it for my plugin.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Henrik, and I'd like to welcome you to our presentation of our Unity plugin Vanity. To understand our plugin, it is very helpful to understand from where the idea originates. There are numerous games sharing a very familiar game mechanic, a one-time editor that enables players to create their own characters/vehicles. We found that these editors are easy to generalize, and they all share familiar features. And that is exactly what Vanity is, an easy to integrate one-time editor with all the features needed to rapidly develop such games. Now, how does such an editor look like? Here's what we got so far. This editor should allow the creation of a very wide variety of objects. Everything should be possible to make, from cars to castles and even up to spaceships. To tackle this problem, we came up with the following approach. First, the player is able to create the general shape by using blocks. Then he or she can further alter the shape by beveling and removing edges, allowing for a greater variety of shapes. Lastly, the editor allows instantiate prefabs previously imported by the developer. Those prefabs then either have an impact on the gameplay or simply serve an aesthetic purpose. Using this plugin, the developer has instant access to a full-fledged editor with all the tools necessary for amazing creations.
Thank you.
Hey, we are Daniel and Jeremias, and we are creating a plugin for the Unity engine called Infinite Wave Function Collapse. It allows you to procedurally generate arbitrarily large worlds using the wave function collapse algorithm.
You can create your own tile sets and modify parameters of the generation to customize the result to your liking. In our trailer, you will see an overview of the processes and capabilities of the plugin.
Thank you. underwater city builder.
Okay, so this presentation was supposed to be in Game Lab 1, but for some reason it got mixed up and ended up in Game Lab 2. So I'm going to just present now. So I've been working on a video game that's a city builder game with the setting of it being underwater. And your goal as the player is to build an underwater colony to explore the ocean. And in the process, you will, of course, gather resources from the ground of the ocean and produce materials with them. Okay, for this purpose, you can either place the buildings directly on the ground of the ocean, or you can build them floating freely in the water. And because of the water, your infrastructure is constantly rusting and you have to try to keep up with the repairs. Okay, now roll the video.
Thank you. That was the last project in Game Lab 2. So now we get back to Sebastian.
Good. With that last entry, we kind of concluded the Game Lab 2 session. Good. Well, it's not true. We added something to the Game Lab 1 session and concluded the Game Lab 2 session. And by now I've finally made it to open the chat window in my browser for the streaming channel. So if there are any questions, I would appreciate questions regarding Game Lab 2 projects or the Underwater City Builder game at this point. Of course, we are realizing that a streaming session of around about 2 hours takes quite a toll of not only the audience, but also the streamers. And so we are kind of losing continuously, we are losing audience participants, but we are still at a comfortable high, around about 140 people, which is great. That being said, I believe the quality of all the plugins / technology tools that our students in games engineering are developing currently in the Game Lab 2 are quite astonishing, or is quite astonishing. And I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on the respective tools and starting to using them. Now, if there are no questions, and I can't see any, maybe I've missed a few questions because I was rather late in activating my chat window. But if there are no questions, then we can move on to the Game Lab 3 presentations, I would assume.
Yes, Sebastian.
Let's have a look at the schedule
so far. Yeah.
And if any questions come up in the meantime, we can still address them. And also, by the way, the Underwater City Builder game was categorized as a Game Lab 2 project because we have a lot of procedural content generation and content generation plugins typically and under what a city builder sounds like. A plugin name to those well-versed in GameLab 2 projects. And since there was no other prefix like GL1 or something like that, it was put into the wrong category. Anyways, so I already saw the schedule for a little bit. Maybe we can see it a little bit longer. Thank you. And since no questions have been placed, I would just say we open up the stage for the GameLab 3 projects. The GameLab 3 projects, different from GameLab 1, where the development and design pipelines of established pre-packaged applications and engines are used in order to develop a game, and different from the GameLab 2 projects, where these pipelines and engines are extended in one way or another. The GameLab 3 projects try to emancipate themselves from pre-established pipelines and engines, and everything is basically coded at a lower level in C++, using libraries such as OpenGL or third-party libraries for asset import, animations, physics, and so on and so forth. And that being said, let's move on into the GameLab 3 projects as we've done before, but notice that the GameLab 3 presenters, they have a bit more time if they choose to use it.
Okay, so my game is called Burning Waves, and I have a little video, and I will just talk about the game while the video is playing. And so, as I said, it's called Burning Waves. And first I want to talk a bit about the current features of the game. It's a strategy game where you steer different ships and play battles against AI ships. As you can see here, the light brown ships are the player ships and the black ships are the enemy ships. You have to maneuver your ships in a way so they have a good position to do the most damage, to shoot full broadsides, but can't be shot at easily. The ships move based on the wind, so they're slower if they drive against the wind, and they're faster if they're with the wind, and you can set sails and it's slower. As Sebastian already said, it's built on a custom 3D engine that currently features the Phong lighting model. And next I want to talk a bit about the planned features of the game. First, I want to implement UI and mouse control, so it plays a bit more like a classic strategy game. I want to implement dynamic weather, first and foremost dynamic wind, so the wind speed and direction changes, but maybe also other effects like storms. And I want to add more ships and enemies, so a bigger, more armored ship, for example, or for the enemies, a ghost ship, or maybe even a kraken. And yeah, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Linus.
Hello, my name is David, and I'm currently developing the game Color Controlled. It is a 3D endless runner where you control multiple characters to avoid color-based obstacles. The idea is that you have different segments in which the input methods for the characters change. For example, you would have one section in which all your characters are controlled by the arrow keys, and then you might have different sections where one of your characters is controlled by the arrow keys and another one by the WASD keys. Please roll the video. I started my iterative work progress by developing a very basic game with one character, one lane, and the obstacles, and then increase the number of characters and lanes that could be played. As you can see in this example, you have two characters, one of which is controlled by the WASD keys and another one by the arrow keys. A month ago, I took a break from developing my game and started refactoring a bit my engine. I did a lot of code cleanup and restructured my game so that it is now easier to add more features. Because as you can now see, I recently started working on the game again, which I plan to do in the next month, and now test the feature of controlling multiple characters at the same time.
Thank you. Jakob?
Jakob? Yeah. So hi, I'm Jacob, and since it is the usual way in Game Lab 3, I first create the game and then build the engine around it. Next slide. The core mechanic of my game is to control a huge amount of snowballs at the same time. Some libraries I used for it are OpenGL and the Bullet Physics library. Please roll the video. As you can see in the video, the lighting and the shading works already quite fine. We have some foam shading and some shadows. And if you press space, the avalanche splits into two halves. The goal is to collect some collectibles which are not implemented yet, but you can use the split behavior to collect two different collectibles on two sides, for example. I implemented the avalanche using vector fields, which gonna be the USB of my engine. As you can see on the right image, you can you have a different force on the snowball depending on the relative position to the to the center of the avalanche. By adjusting the different parameters of the formula, you can change the vector field. Next slide, please. If you adjust the X and Y parameter, for example, you can adjust the center. And if you adjust the power, the vectors nearer to the center are smaller and the vectors far away get larger. Next slide. Some other things I want to implement are the growing behavior of the snowballs and a better collision handling, since I have a lot of trouble with the tunneling effect. And of course, adding other swarm games on the long term and do some refactoring and engine development.
Thank you.
Hi, please roll the video on the next slide. Welcome to God of the Frogs. In this game, you are a God of the Frogs. It's your responsibility to keep the frogs alive and let them prosper. These are your frogs on their island. Drag them around to help them find flight and a mate. In response, the frogs have faith in you. Faith is measured in the top right corner. With it, you can unlock additional skills that help you manage your frog subjects. When you're satisfied with your work, you can go take a break. But beware, time flows different during your break. When you come back 1 month later, all your frogs may be dead.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Toby. Project Quark is a 2D jump and run I made from scratch. This project consists of 3 major parts. At the core lies the Eternal Engine, handling 2D rendering, physics, and passing on events. On top of that is the Doomed Editor, a full functional editor for 2D jump and runs. You can edit your scenes by adding game objects to them. Every game object consists of multiple components, like an audio or script component, which can be modified. While you're building the level, you can play and test it at any point without having to recompile the whole thing. Of course, you can save and load your levels. The help of this editor enabled the third and most important part, the game, Project Quark. In Project Quark, you control a duck egg and help it to reach a safe place to hatch. Let's have a look.
Can you tell me another duck story?
Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum. A duck walked up to the lemonade stand. Bum bum bum, he said to the man who was running the stand. Bum bum bum, hey, bum bum bum, follow me. The man said, look who's back again. Can't you go bug some feathered friend? I'm staying right here. The duck said, tear. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, 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 till the very next day.
Thank you, Tobias.
Thanks.
So for Benedict, he can't use his laptop right now, so we are going to play the trailer. Okay, that was the last Game Lab 3 project. So
Benedict, was yours the last one?
Yes, it was the last one.
I believe that was the last one then. So following the chat, the Game Lab 3 projects raised quite some excitement, which I share fully. There were some questions that you guys have already asked, such as whether it will be possible in the Swarm engine in the Avalanche game. It will be possible to split the two Avalanche flocks into 4 at some point and to merge them again. I think so. This is interesting because this is part of my research also in interactive swarm systems, interactive self-organization, where I've been thinking with students of such mechanics, because in the near future, when we will have swarms of robots flying or not, they should be controllable by users eventually as well. And there the question also comes up whether these flocks should be divisible and also how to merge them back together. Because what Jacob showed was you could merge the two flocks of Avalanche snowballs back together with the press of one button. But if you have sub-flocks, maybe even an arbitrary number, which ones of those sub-flocks do you actually want to merge together? All of them or just specific ones, and so on and so forth. So this is really interesting. Definitely some food for thought, Jacob. And thanks for the question in the chat. And then there was lots of excitement and whether the duck theme could be used and so on and so forth. There's also another question. Why are there so few projects in the 3rd semester compared to the 1st semester? This is a terribly awesome question. And the answer, unfortunately, is that not too many students arrive in the 3rd semester, in the 6th or 5th semester, actually. It's not the 3rd semester, it's the 3rd game lab. So it's basically 2 years more into the game, at least 2 more years. And also we started out with 30 students, and the group size, the year magnitude, so to speak, of the Game Lab 3 right now stems still from the old enrollment size of 30 students. And then if you factor in a few students that drop out just because it's really a tough program, because it's basically computer science specialization program at the university level, then not too many remain, and we unfortunately have very few projects to show here. Also, it's a matter of logistics, because not all the students might want to present here at the Twitch demo, but they are still working on it. But since they are involved in internships and other obligations pile up as once you progress in your studies and your abilities grow, then you might take on jobs outside of university and be involved more heavily into science or anything like that. And that takes away leisure to invest in your study stipulations. I hope that answered your question. And I hope there will be way more Game Lab 3 presentations in the near future, definitely. So if we don't have more questions regarding Game Lab 3, I thank the presenters again. I'm very, very excited. Actually, we have 3 Indian running ducks at home. I'm at home. I'm broadcasting from home right now, and they produced their first egg today. So this tells us something about the egg. No, not the egg. Well, we had an egg game and a duck game, in a way. And anyways, let's move on to the next session, which is the presentations about the thesis projects that we are also having. Just a little context about this. We have not only the Game Lab 1, 2, 3 accompanying the student program from enrollment until graduation, but of course we also have other courses and other student stipulations, including, you know, basic mathematics and programming and all of that, of course. And then specialization courses in interactive technologies, AI, computer graphics, and all of that. But there is also general challenges such as the seminar thesis and also a bachelor thesis, of course. And what we are going to see now are the presentations of 3 of those respective bachelor thesis projects that have been, 2 of them have already been completed, and 1 of them is about to be completed within the next few weeks. And let's have a look at those. Thank you.
Can I already start?
Yes, the stage is yours.
Yes, please start.
Okay, hello, I'm Simon, and I'm presenting my bachelor thesis, Edge Case Integration into Established NUT Traversal Techniques. First of all, what am I doing? I'm trying to establish direct communication between peers in edge case situations. So what could be an edge case situation? For example, NUT devices can make the creation of communication more difficult. But let's start with a very simple example. If we have 2 hosts behind a public IP address, they can easily communicate by targeting the other's IP address with their messages. Things get a little bit more complicated if you are behind a cone NUT device. Next slide, please. If you have a cone NUT device, your private address is translated by the cone NUT to a public address and port. But we can use the fact that cone NUTs are translating private addresses to public addresses statically. So if we have a server which is exchanging the public IP address of a host to the other host, he can easily communicate with the other by sending messages to the exchanged address. In the most difficult situation, we have a symmetric NUT device between each host. So there we have the following problem. The ports are translated by the symmetric NUT dynamically. So how this works, I explained it in the following. We have 2 general different types of symmetric NUT. First of all is progressing. You can see this here on the left side. We have here an ascending sequence of the translated ports. And on the right side, we can see pseudo-random translated ports. So if we would now exchange the public address by the symmetric NUT device to the other host, we cannot establish a communication, because when we send, what we can do now is we can predict the next allocated port to establish a communication. This can be done in the following. For the progressing symmetric NUT type, we could, for example, analyze the current network traffic and use the average latencies for exchanging peer information to make a prediction of the next allocated port from the symmetric NUT device. In the random symmetric case, we can use many traversal packages and correlations between earlier analyzed and later opened ports to make this prediction. When testing these 2 methods in the German mobile network, we have very strong results for the progressing symmetric method, and we have slight improvements to traditional methods for the random symmetric type method. Thank you for your attention.
Oh, I was hoping to see some charts and all of that. I know that you have generated so much data, and it was always
yeah, it's so much and so small time.
Yeah, I know. That's a challenge. Okay, let's move on to Leah's project, please.
Hey, I hope everyone can hear me okay. Hello, my name is Leah Kohl, and today I am presenting my bachelor thesis titled User-Centered Engineering of User-Created Block Worlds in Virtual Reality. For this thesis, I have had the pleasure to work on a project called Booksels, a social VR platform that allows the users to build and share animated block worlds based on books. The first prototype was developed by Pascal Müller in cooperation with the Universitätsbibliothek Würzburg. The goal of this thesis was to revise user interaction tasks based on a user-centered engineering approach. This was achieved by conducting semi-structured expert interviews with the stakeholders of the prototype. The stakeholders are 3 representatives from the Universitätsbibliothek Würzburg and 1 usability expert from the Games Engineering Study Program. From these interviews, a requirement analysis was conducted and the user interactions within the world were revised. The result from the first expert interview were these 6 requirements. However, for this presentation, I will focus on the requirements which led to the most innovative and thus most interesting systems. These are SHR 1 and 2, effortless operation and learning of the software, as well as SHR 6, the greatest possible freedom regarding the creation of the worlds for the users. First of all, we switched the input from controller input to hand tracking for a more natural operation of the software. An important term I will be using a lot is pinching. Pinching means to put your index finger and thumb together to confirm an interaction, as can be seen in the picture. Pinching is needed for the new tool menu. The first prototype had the tools to edit the world at the side of the world, as can be seen on the left of the slide. This means one had to always walk over there to switch tools. We changed this using a tablet metaphor. If the user pinches using the index finger and thumb of their left hand, a tablet appears next to their hand on which the user can now select the tools and the individual objects, such as blocks with different textures from the radial menu. These implementations satisfy SHR 1 and 2. When placing objects in the world, the user does so using a laser ray to point at the places and pinches to confirm the placement. When placing blocks and holding the pinch, moving their hand along one axis, the system can even predict where the user wants to place blocks, making the creation of walls easier, which satisfies SHR 1. To satisfy SHR 6, an animation system with an in-world editor was created. Through this animation system, the users can set an animation, a walkway, and an animation time for a character. The created sequence is iterated over once they hit the play button on the podium. Additionally, all aspects of an animation can be edited, and the last animation in an animation sequence can be deleted. So with these implementation, to what degree did we satisfy the requirements? After another interview with the stakeholders, we came to the conclusion that we did a lot of good work satisfying them mostly. However, negative feedback was given about the tool menu, which is lacking user guidance, and about the animation system, which is not yet able to satisfy the needs of the books, and at the same time can get overwhelming for the users quickly. In the future, these issues should be tackled to satisfy the requirements fully. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And let's conclude this session with Mark Musman.
Okay, can I start? Okay, hello, my name is Mark Musman and I'm presenting the current progress of my bachelor thesis with the title of A Formative Evaluation of Inventory Systems in VR in the Context of the Adventure Games Genre. My thesis is based on the different ways of interacting with items in VR, where these interactions are either based on grasping, pointing, or hybrid techniques. In addition to that, proprioception can also be used to improve those interactions, which means that the sense of self-movement and body position is used in body-relative interactions. The inventory systems can be divided into different aspects, such as the interface, the item representation, the item arrangement, and other inventory interaction. In addition to that, menu systems such as the pie menu or the hierarchical spin menu can also be used as a layout within the item arrangement aspect. The adventure games genre is one of the oldest genres in the history of video games, with the first game released in 1976. The genre is based on the combination of story and exploration, where the player advances within the story through puzzle solving. One type of these puzzles are the state of affairs puzzles, where the interaction with items is very important. These item interactions are implemented through actions, where each action consists of a transitive verb and an item, or a transitive verb and an item with another item or a character. Based on all these aspects, I formulated different requirements within the stakeholder requirements analysis. So you can see on the image below, I formulated 9 different user requirements that need to be satisfied in order to create such an inventory system. Here are the different system and design requirements I formulated that need to be satisfied in order to satisfy those different user requirements. And based on all those requirements, I've developed different prototypes, where all prototypes are built upon a common item system. Here you can see the different system and design requirements that need to be satisfied in order to create a pie menu-based inventory system prototype. In this video, on the next slide, you can see the different requirements that need to be satisfied so that the player can add an item to the inventory in the first prototype. So here you can see in the video how an item is added to the inventory through overlapping with the item in the inventory. Also, you can see how an action is used on the item. So now you can see the same graph, but with different requirements satisfied, so that the player can add an item within the second prototype. So here you can see an item is added by overlapping an area on the left controller. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Well done, everyone. Thank you also for presenting your thesis works. Unfortunately, in the chat, we've been diving into graduation numbers more than questions about your respective projects.
So
But I'm
I
sure
have a
they...
question to Mark.
Sorry?
Yes.
I have a question for Mark.
Oh, perfect.
So I was wondering if Mark is aware of the following, wait, I put it in the chat, the following project that we did so far at the chair, and if he stays in Würzburg for the master and perhaps is interested in this, because it nicely fits what he's done so far and puts it in another direction. So perhaps you have a look, and if you're interested, you can contact me, Mark. I can put it to the Twitch chat as well.
Yeah, I got a link.
Yeah, please also share it with the Twitch stream, which I just wanted to do and I failed.
So because there we were also targeting adventure games such as Day of the Tentacle or Monkey Island, and wanted to control them with speech and gestures. And what I've seen from you with the inventory and real environments nicely fits to what we've done so far. And perhaps you're interested in progressing with it.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. So from what I could see, yeah, maybe I'll look into it.
So we have some echo in the system. Hope it goes by now. If I'm not wrong, this concluded all the presentations of today. Munsif, Benedict, let me know if I've overlooked anything. From my understanding, we didn't have anything beyond the thesis project presentations.
Yes, exactly.
And
True.
if so, we've answered all the questions from the chat. We have been online for roughly 2.5 hours. It's been a very, very up and down time, especially with the technical challenges that we were facing at the beginning. But I'm very, very happy that everybody could present, and even if we only had the video of the changeling being shared as a URL, but that's okay, I guess. And the final presentations of all the projects, except for Skyland Arena, which was presented today as its final presentation will be shared in summer, hopefully in person. I don't dare hoping for it really, but it would be nice. So everybody, thank you very, very much for joining us. I hope you were well entertained and were inspired a little bit, and stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see you soon again. Now, if anybody else from the organizers wanted to say a few final words, now would be a good time. I'm over and out. Bye-bye.
Bye, Sebastian. So the same goes for me. Thank you, all the students that put a lot of work in their presentations, and apologies for the technical issues that costed the first Game Lab session, the sound. But also stay tuned, please, for if you're interested in the videos that you saw, then every video also with sound on the YouTube channel of the chair. I think we will manage to put them online within this week or beginning of next week, as soon we got the consent and got an answer from all of the students that are interested in doing so. Okay, then thank you very much, and I think we are off the stream then.